this is Alex Vidal, president of Related ISG International Realty and host of the show you're about to watch, Inquiring Minds Want to Know. I am coming to you from Baja in Rio de Janeiro at a CrossFit gym that's only fitting for today's interview. Today's interview is brought, I'm out of breath, I just finished the workout. Today's interview is brought to you by Related ISG International Realty. If you want to work with the best company that's connected to the fittest, biggest business people in the country and around the world, text me, DM me, email me, I'm out of breath, I'm sorry. But I'm here with my friend Gabriel. He runs CrossFit Crown here in Baja. We just finished the workout. He's not sweating, I am. But we have a special guest, and I asked Gabriel here to introduce our guest. Gabriel, who are we interviewing today?
Camille Leblanc-Bazinet.
Camille Leblanc-Bazinet. Guys, we had some technical difficulties when I recorded this with her split screen. So the questions themselves are posted, and then her answers, because my audio is all messed up. Enjoy, she's got some great tips to hold off those Thanksgiving calories. Thank you guys for watching, enjoy.
Start with, I'm a 9-time CrossFit game athlete. But it's all fine. It's just all about embracing the process. I know, right now, I doubt that I will win the game again, especially because I'm trying to qualify for the Olympic in weightlifting right now. But I think it's just been a journey of just embracing the process, embracing becoming a better person, a better athlete, and just really pushing my limits. And what's your favorite lesson? Yeah, I really like all of it. I think when you're younger, you like things that, makes you feel like you're gaining approval from other people and things like that. And it just seemed like, for me, I created my own approval through my hard work for my own self, a lot younger. So it's hard for me when someone asks me what's my favorite thing, because I really love to work and see progress. So, for example, last year at the CrossFit game, my favorite event was the marathon row, which was one of my worst finish. But just because it was such a huge accomplishment, I had the best attitude. I, beat tons of people I shouldn't have beat, and I was above and beyond what I could have or should have done. And, to me, that's mental toughness. That's how you grow. That's how you become better. So I'm really a full-on someone who embraced the work and the process. And I just believe deep down in my heart that doing that will put me, where I should be. And I think that's how I won in 2014. It was no regret. Work as hard as you can. I knew the star aligned that year. I could tell, I could feel it in my heart. And now I kind of have the same feeling towards qualifying for the Olympic in weightlifting. You just really have to love what you do. And, I come from a really small town, and I just remember wanting to get the hell out of there when I was young. And I don't know how to say it. I think we all have this light that shine inside us. We all have the capacity to be a star, and it's like digging deep down and finding that jewel inside your heart. And for me, that was hard work, and I just knew that if I worked really hard, I was going to get away from the super small town where I'm from and travel the world and be able to expand who I am and learn and, get more culture. So I think what drives me is just always remembering where I'm from. Just always thinking back to that, and it takes away a lot of fear of failing to know that you can just go back to square one, because I've done it. So I'm not scared really of going back to not having any money. I I don't care. Yeah, I think, and that applies to anything, not just CrossFit, but I think like family and friends, anyone who takes the leap to try something new, something that seems exciting and scary and dangerous because people don't know much about it. I think just anything that is uncomfortable for family and friends, for whatever reason, they're going to try to stop you from doing it. And I don't think they mean it in a bad way. It's this sort of uh, self-preservation mechanism because they don't want you to get hurt. They don't want you to fail because now they're going to have to deal with that on top of it. So I think that's just what it is. And, as long as you have your conviction that this is the right thing for you, which was what it was for me, and that's what I told my parents and my friend. I was like, hey guys, I love this. You're not, I'm going to go. I don't care. Like, yeah. I'm going to find a way to make it happen. And, as your friend and family see that that has become the new reality, then I think they're more open-minded to see why you love it so much, and I think that's what happened with my parents and my family and my friend, is that I had something that was so passionate about, and I think they got very jealous of that. And at first they pushed back, and then they wanted a piece of it, and now they all do it. That exact thing is why me and my husband are so in love with each other. Is kind of one of the biggest rules in our house is that we feed off of each other. So when I see him working really hard, I'm not jealous in any way of, his business becoming more successful. And at the opposite, I just get very excited. And I'm like, okay, me too. And I just start to work harder. And then he see me going. And then it's like, okay, cool, let's do it. And I think having this relationship with people to get inspired by them instead of being jealous of them is might be one of the healthiest change that ever happened for me. It's just I just get inspired by people. You work, I can work too. Instead of you work, let me try to stop you. I mean, there's a lot. It's funny because I think that sometimes people, when they see me compete and things like that, we're like, we're so focused and we're like those bees coming on the floor and just, we kind of rip it up and we look like we know so much what we're doing. But I think people forget that in our shoes, I'm still like, that little girl that fell in love with the sport, and now I have to go test myself and maybe fell in front of millions of people. And I do that over and over and over again. Like I don't think they can, it's hard to put themselves in our shoes. Like, and, for me, one of my biggest fear, and I think that's what keeps me going all the time, is I'm so scared to miss the boat. I'm just so scared to not put enough work, wait too long, wait too long to do my business stuff, wait too long to just start working out, or I don't know, there's something about that keeps me super, super accountable. Like I'm a lot more healthy. Yeah, I'm a lot more healthy about it now, because before I didn't it was really hard for me to find a balance, but because I got a chemical engineering degree while being a professional athlete, and it was this thing of like, if my athletic career, and I don't want to wait until that to have, another side to go to. And now I'm kind of doing the same thing with building my business. And that's one of my big fear, not doing enough, which I know sounds crazy with everything that I'm doing, but I don't want to wake up being like, I could have or should have. That's something I tell myself a lot. I never want to tell myself I could have or should have, because you didn't. it doesn't count. Yeah, there's just no excuse in my house, because that's just nothing. I like speak a lot with my action, so that's something I fear. One of the biggest challenges I've had to overcome in my life wasn't my shoulder surgery. Obviously that was a big obstacle, but I think I was mature enough to really embrace that challenge in a way that was so positive that didn't felt much like a challenge. But for me, the biggest thing was in 2010, I met my husband, and he lived in the U.S., and I lived in Canada, and I was 22 years old, full-time student in Canada, and I had this choice back then of I'm studying in chemical engineering, and I'm living in a terrible dorm, no money, no nothing. And on the flip side, I can take that no money, no nothing, and try to build a life with my husband in the U.S. and maybe quit school to pursue my athletic career. And I made the choice of not sacrificing anything. So I decided to date my husband, move a couple months a year in the U.S. to be with him. The other couple months was in school in Canada, and just pursue everything. But that was the scariest thing I've done. Just give a shot at love. Leaving my country, everything I know, to be with someone, and also giving a shot at being a professional. What are they not? That's kind okay, so I'm launching an ebook for Thanksgiving, and it's going to be a 30-day mindset, nutrition, and workout. Um, and all of that, a lot of it, I mean, I've always had it in my heart. So I've been teaching level 1 for CrossFit for a very long time. And the only reason behind that is I want to be, keep touch with the community, have like more of an impact on people, and just really like be there. And I feel like as a professional athlete, I can inspire and help in a way, but I feel like I have a lot more in me to help. And that's kind of, I think the bigger purpose of my life is that. Um, so when I hurt my shoulder last year, I was in a Globo gym because it's good for rehab and prehab to have isolation movement. And I just realized that everyone there is just zombie walking, not sure what they're doing. Everyone's on their phone. Everyone is slow. And it just made me really sad to see this amount of people wanting to be healthy and fit and just having no path to follow to get there. So that has become my sort of new project mission. And that's kind of where the ebook came from, is workout at home so you can be vulnerable at home. And I give you tips and tricks and coach you at home. And you start nutrition from square one. And that way everyone can have a path to follow to get fitter and healthier. So that's kind of the base of all the things that are coming, because then I'm going to do online program at home with minimal equipment. And I just really want to give people something that is sustainable, because I think that's just the hardest thing right now is everything is kind of what's cool right now. Oh, drinking kombucha is cool right now. So everyone's drinking kombucha, but they still don't have the knowledge to back up. Why should I drink it? And maybe why not? Because everyone's different. So I'm trying to build something that is just sustainable, not this like insane diet or insane workout regime that you do for 1 week or 1 month and then you can't follow up with. So that's kind of the bigger purpose of my old brand. But I'm also doing like weightlifting belt and just things that I like, because there's nothing cute for girls. So I'm like, well, I'm just going to do it. Yeah, I think when you, when you fully embrace the process, the result doesn't matter. And as much as I didn't win the CrossFit game last year, I've done things in that CrossFit game that I've never done before. And for me, that was like one of my biggest victory. And I just wish, I wish people could focus on that, because I have people come to me all the time being like, oh my God, I bet you feel like such a failure. You haven't won again. And in my head, I'm always like, man, it sucks thinking the way you think. Because I'm the fittest I've ever been. I'm the best wife I've ever been. I'm like the best friend I've ever been. Like, if you know how selfish I had to be when I was winning the CrossFit game, like, there's sacrifice that when you get older, you wonder what's the value of it. And like, I would do it again for sure, but yeah, I just think people need to focus more on the process and like learn to respect and love yourself through that.